Hi, everybody, and welcome to Katrina Rasbold and Friends. As you know, my ongoing mission with this channel is to show you definitively that there are really cool people out there who are interesting to talk to and fun to connect with. Because the way that things are going with the divisiveness of our world today, it can get really easy to just think that everybody out there is a complete and total idiot. And so I want to show you that that's not necessarily the case because I know absolutely the coolest people and I want to share them with you, which I've been doing for a little while on this channel. So today I'm excited to be with, and this is a big honorarium here, because I am with the person that of every person on earth, everybody I know, literally, this is the person I have shared the most time with and the most laughs with and the most fun conversations with of anybody, including Eric, including friends that I know. This is the person that I have had the most fun with as far as years go. This is the author and the artist, Joe Humphrey. Now, Joe Humphrey also has the distinction of being my son. So, Joe, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit?
Hi. Okay, thank you. That was a very nice introduction. I am Joe. I write stories. I write stories about vampires mostly, but other stuff too. And yeah, and I draw. I sell prints just to make some money because the writing isn't doing that. and, but that's what I do.
So, two things. One is that when you say you sell prints, we're not
Yes,
talking about a little thing here and there. You literally have hundreds of celebrity images
I used to. I
and
took them all
pop
down.
culture images on your site that you offer.
Yeah, I do. I do sell a lot. I reduced my stock recently because Etsy was just murdering me with fees. Um, but yeah, I have a lot of drawings that I can sell.
But if somebody was to just say to you, "Look, I have this special interest, and I was just wondering if you have any Muppet drawings," you would be able to even show them possibly things that are not offered on Etsy or in your shop. Is that
Sure,
right?
sure, yeah, absolutely, yeah, yeah. I've got
And
lots of stuff.
and you do custom work too.
Yeah, I do commissions, and so either like people's pets or their family or celebrities, or I've had some pretty off the wall ones too. But I'm open to most anything. You know.
So, since I know that you are very savvy with technology, would you be able to share screen and show us a couple of your pieces of work?
Maybe I can. Let me. I don't know how to do that. What's this here?
Okay.
Share screen.
If you looked, excuse us a second,
Oh, I
folks.
can do. I can do it right now. I can do it right now.
Good. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
This is
There we go.
just
I
to
got it.
show you the type of thing that Joe does.
Yeah.
Now, while he's
Copy.
getting that, I just want to say that it blew me away because I do not have artistic ability. And it just was amazing to me that this could come out of somebody that I produced. So, do you know how to share that or should I just do it?
You can do it. Oh, here we go.
So, do you
There's
want
one.
to? I know what this is. Do you want to talk about it a
Yeah.
little bit?
This is one of my favorites that I've done. It's from the movie The Warriors. That's Swan and Mercy in my favorite scene from that movie where they're on the subway and it's a very intense, very subtle but intense scene. But I shared that one just because it's just one of my favorites. I think it's a really cool looking drawing.
It's an
Um,
awesome drawing and an awesome scene. Very
yeah, I'm gonna
clarifying.
throw another one in there. Here we go. How about this
Yeah,
one
here
of
we go.
puddles?
Let me. Here's another one. Oh my, I haven't seen this one.
No, that's an old one.
That's
I can't
intense.
sell that one on Etsy though. I got in trouble.
Okay.
Puddles got mad at me.
Who did? Puddles got mad at
Puddles
you.
the clown. Yeah, he was not happy about me selling it. He's like, yeah,
I
no,
hate when
thank you.
that happens.
It's all right.
So
I don't mind.
that's what Joe does. And that's just, I can't even tell you what a tiny crescent. Oh, here, wait, data just
Sorry,
showed up.
last one. Last one. Last one.
There you go. I love that one.
Yeah.
So most of me and most of my kids and my husband are all Trekkers. So it's really exciting to me when we see the Star Trek material. So that's just a tiny sampling of what Joe does. There's the thinnest little thumbnail sampling of everything that Joe does. There's a vast collection, and we're going to link his website in the description. So please go and look at all the artwork he does. It's just beyond incredible. He's such a talented artist. Now, when I had Rachel Jordan on here, we have one of our questions in the interview that is, what movie, podcast, book, or TV show are you into lately? And she immediately said your books. She said that she really loves doing it. And of course, Rachel is the producer and narrator for your Bloodletting series.
Yes. And she's very good at it.
Is Charlie. She said she really related to Charlie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is nice because Charlie's basically based on me. So hey, thank you.
Right. So again, to access Joe's books, which another thing she mentioned, bookmark that. Another thing she mentioned was how much she enjoys the erotica series, and particularly The Bride. She thought that was just wonderful. So to access Joe's books, we'll put that link down in the description as well. Excellent. So yeah, he just moved. So let's get his light bill paid, you know. So you loving that new place?
I am. Yeah, I'm just about to. I've got my office functional now, which is nice considering that it was full of boxes just a couple of days ago. But I still need to organize some things. But it's at least I can sit in here and be comfortable. And it's got my cool lights and everything, and it makes me feel like I'm in a special space.
In this interview process on this channel, we talk a lot about manifestation. And because a lot of us are having struggles, and we want to send energy toward creating a better life, a better situation. And you recently had a situation come up a few months ago. And this, I don't have permission to talk about this, but I'm going to anyway. And where you were your place was you were renting a place, and the owner wanted to use it for something different. And so you knew that you were going to have to find another place. And because you were in a rent controlled situation, you knew you were going to have to pay a good bit more than what you'd been paying. But because of the market, you were fairly certain you were going to have to be in a smaller place, possibly a more crowded place in an apartment complex, because you're in a little basement suite. And so you were really upset and anxious about this. And you put energy to it. You worked hard with it. You had a lot of faith with it. Sandra had a lot of faith with it. That's your wife, in case you didn't know. And you are in a place now that's only a few $100s more, and is twice as big, and has a massive view of the ocean, and is just beautiful. So it worked out.
Yeah. It was really, really, it worked out really well. I was very, very, very grateful to find this place.
Now, I am the queen of manifestation. I'm all about manifestation. However, when you and Sandra came back from first looking at this place, you had it in your head, we got it. This is mine. We're just going to start packing. And I was pulling myself back from going, oh God, slow your roll. You know, you're just going to get disappointed again, and trying not to interject my fears into that. But you two were just on it. You were just packing and gone. You practically moved in before you had the approval.
Yeah, we were pretty eager. We just loved it so much. And it was like, we got the feeling when we went to see it that we were going to gel well with the people. And it's been really, we've been there for a week, and it's been great.
Outstanding. And something else I want to point out along the manifestation journey is that about a week prior, maybe a little bit more, you had looked at a place you really, really wanted.
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks earlier.
And you were devastated you didn't get it. And it was really discouraging. It really seemed like, gosh, you know, what fresh hell is this? Why were we tempted with this and not given this? And then you found this place that was so much better.
Yeah, and it is better.
That's awesome.
It's much better than the other place.
I'm really happy for you all. I'm glad that you're in a good place. Thank you. So you are actually out of the country. You and your wife live in Victoria, Canada, and Victoria, BC, I guess is what's accurate. In Canada, considered a part Canadian.
It is Canadian, yeah.
Yeah. So you have a little bit, I'm not going to go too heavily into this, but you have a little bit different perspective on some of the things going on in America right now.
I think so.
And so you kind of are between the worlds with, you live in Canada, but you still, your heart to some degree is in the States.
Mm-hmm.
So what I don't even have a good segue for this. So we're just going to jump into our questions, because I know you're on a little bit of a time crunch. So no, okay.
I'm having a good time. We're good.
Good. That's all that matters. So
Okay.
I'm curious to hear this. What do you think happens to you when you die?
I've been struggling with this. Not in a faith kind of way, but just in a science kind of way. Because I think that I recently heard someone say that before you're born, wherever you are is where you're going when you die. That you were basically nothing before you were born, and then you were born, and you go back to being nothing, and whatever that nothing is where you are. And it's like it's not a scary thing. It's just kind of a final thing. It's just like the end of the story. So I don't think of it as being like a place, just a lack of being. Like and it's I'm okay with that. I used to be really, really scared of that, but I'm getting okay with it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've played with the ideas of like, energy doesn't go anywhere, or it doesn't die, so it's got to go somewhere. Whatever is controlling your self-perception and your personality and whatever it is, your identity, is got to go somewhere. But I think it probably just dissipates into the earth.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that also lends a lot of pressure, if you want to say that, to your time living, that this is what you get.
I have to try and work hard to keep that in mind.
And
it's
to
really
just
easy
be
to
fully
get hung up
present
on.
for that and maximize the good stuff.
Yeah, totally. I don't think that I really have a lot of, like, I try and have a handle on the fact that I have finite amount of time. And I try to apply myself in a way that maximizes that, but that's kind of a hard thing to do for me. I'm very scatterbrained, I'm very I have a hard time focusing on things like that, and like being that intentional, but I'm working on it.
So a sidebar to that conversation, sort of like the flow chart going down to this, is that you have some chemical issues that affect your focus and your ability to navigate that. You want to speak to that a tiny bit?
I got a whole alphabet of various personality and psychological disorders. I have ADHD and I have OCD, and those are the two big ones. And it does definitely affect my life. I'm medicated for both of them, and in addition to just depression and general anxiety. And so that is definitely a factor in sort of my whole existence. Everything I do is colored by that.
Delina and I did a video on the effects of anxiety in a person's life, and some of the management ideas and that sort of thing. Do you have anything other than your medication that you routinely use to talk yourself down or to create more positive outcomes? Then, because I know you used to have some really cataclysmic results of the depression and some of the alphabet, but do you have anything, because you really have gotten a lot of it under control and you've become very self-aware about it?
Sure, yeah. I definitely do. The medication was the big factor, though. I mean, that was definitely the thing that got me in a place where I could do the other work. The medication is kind of the foundation, of the house, and then then once you have that there, you can start building. But you got to get your brain like functioning right, and that's a long, like, really difficult journey. At least it was for me, and I think it is for most people. Finding the right medication that works, finding the right dosing, finding the right ones that work together, and finding all the different things that medically that you can do. But then once that happened, I started doing a lot of what's it called? Therapy, cognitive behavior therapy, which is just basically training your brain to reframe things from being negative or being catastrophic or catastrophizing, and sort of looking at it in a realistic and not fake but more positive way, in a not, and it sounds kind of self-helpy, but it's just, you have to do it.
I love that. That's good. Good stuff. So, present company excluded. Who in your life? Now, here's the thing. We all go through life in a way that people affect us through trauma and influence us through trauma and influence us by modeling behavior we don't want to emulate. Who in your life has influenced you in a positive way?
Present company excluded?
No, you can talk about me if you want to.
I mean, sorry, I got to scoot my chair back here. There we go.
Okay.
If I was going to say, I mean, I would say you.
Thank you.
That's, but if I was going to just add that, because that was my answer when I thought about the question.
Oh no, go ahead then.
But then you said not me.
No.
Okay, well, whatever.
I was trying to be self-effacing. I'm not very good at it.
Being humble. No, I would say you, because here's the thing. Like you said in your intro, you've been the constant. We've had all kinds of different experiences, both positive and negative, together, and and we've been through those traumas together that you mentioned. Like we fought together, and I feel like a lot of my personality and my perspective on the world came from you, and came from sort of my learning from you. And I feel like I'm better for it. I feel like I'm a better person for it than I would have been had I just been in somebody else's family. I certainly have negative things that came from, all, not from you, but just from life, that have influenced me. But I can't really, it's hard to talk about because you're looking at me, but it's no, you're fine. It's just,
Hang on, let's watch this. No, I think if I remove myself from the screen, it screws up the thing. But
no, I just I didn't. I'm sorry. It's weird.
It's okay. It's okay.
Sorry, I feel weird.
Somebody that I know has been a very positive influence for you is your spouse,
Sandra. Yes,
she's
okay. That's a good answer. I can definitely talk very easily about Sandra because she is amazing. She's my favorite person in the world. I'm not related to. That's not.
You know what? I accept that without qualification. Okay.
I just mean like my favorite person that I've met. That wasn't like forced onto me by circumstance. She's everything. Like everything I do now is very much factored into by Sandra. Like it's about everything I do is not to support her, but to support us. Our life, and that is very important to me, and that's why I would say that's actually the answer I would give. My mom's definitely the first thing that comes to mind, but Sandra is the best answer because Sandra works for it, because it's not easy being married to me. Sometimes I've got a lot of things going on, and she is very good at understanding what I need and what is going to keep me grounded. And it's not just like a survival thing of like, she keeps me alive, but like she anticipates what's going to make me happy, and she helps make that happen. And I appreciate her so much, and I love her so much.
Well, she's also really good at saying, listen, I know what you're going to think next, and we're not going to do that.
Yeah, that's true. She definitely is. She keeps me reined in a lot of ways, that in ways that are probably healthy.
So, And this is not a new romance.
No, we've been married for 25 years in December.
Yeah.
So like we've been together since we were little children.
Yeah. True story.
You know,
So, and
this is
I
the
am so
90s.
grateful to her for taking such good care of you
Mm,
and for knowing you so well.
yeah, me too.
So I think that this kind of goes into our next question, which is if you look back on your life, which there's been a lot, there's been
Mm-hmm.
so much that you've experienced in your life. Um, you aren't, even as my son, you're not that much younger than I am. And what are you the most proud of? What can you look back on and say, you know what, I did good at that?
Honestly, right now, I would say getting this place. Um, I put a lot of work personally, like actual like my things that I did to make this happen, and I feel very adult having done that, and I feel like I was able to provide something for Sandra. I was able to make the money happen. I was able to make the place happen, the arrangements and stuff like that. Sandra certainly was involved as well, and she did a lot of work. But like I did a lot of work, and I am really proud of myself for that.
I think that's perfect. Is she still loving it there?
Yes, she is.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, she's real
And
happy.
that move happened, what, a day before her birthday?
Yeah, moved on the 4th. No, we moved on the 3rd, and her birthday's on the 5th. So
That's
it's 2 days before.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday to Sandra.
Yeah.
So this is probably the longest answer you're going to give.
Okay.
So we're going to make space for it.
Sure.
What movie, podcast, book, or TV show are you into lately?
I just watched One Battle After Another, which is the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie. And I liked it quite a lot. And I just I've been thinking about it. I saw it yesterday, and I'm still thinking about it. I'm still sort of working it over in my head. It's just a really well made film, and it's a really entertaining movie. It's a great movie. I'm really proud of Paul Thomas Anderson for making it because his movies can be challenging sometimes. They're very dense, and this is also very dense, but it's much more accessible than his other movies, I think.
I
And
look forward to seeing it.
you should. You should. I think you would like it. It's got a
will.
kind of Coen Brothers feel to it.
I look
Yeah.
forward to it. And you're really good at knowing my limits on movies. For instance,
I try to.
the level of violence that doesn't work for me, and the level of horror that works for me, that doesn't work for me, But you also know that movies like Inception make me very tired, and they make me feel
Sure.
stupid. And so not to send me down that path.
No Nolan movies for you.
No. So I'm excited for this, and I'd love to give that a try. Also, a lot of you might not know this, but one of the links we're going to have down in the description is Joe's blog, and the way to access that. And you go to the movies, Joe, more than most people.
I would say so.
And have wonderful movie reviews and
thank you.
other types of reviews that go into that newsletter. So people, if you want really good quality interviews, definitely have a look at that. And
thank you.
And subscribe. Subscribe.
Smash that subscribe button.
You are really monstrously into pop culture and TV shows and books and things like that, and movies. So it's got to be hard for you to pick, oh, this is my favorite album, or this is my favorite movie, or whatever.
You would think so, but I'm actually pretty I'm pretty in touch with that kind of stuff in myself. Like I know what really works for me and what doesn't, and I try out a lot of stuff and don't get very far. Like this week I talked about the new Ed Gein show,
Monster,
the Ed Gein story. Yeah, I did not care for what I saw of that, but I can still talk about it. Like I can still sort of like talk about it from what I know about it. But anyways, yeah, I that's a good example of like something that I can just like I try it out. I know enough about it to know that it's not my thing.
So this one is not on the list, but it's relevant to what we're talking about.
Okay,
What
surprise.
movie that everybody else seems to like do you dislike the most? Do you have an answer for that?
Um, I probably could definitely come up with one. I don't. I generally try not to like dump on things.
Mm-hmm. You're good
Um,
about that.
I really do not care for the Scream movies.
Oh, okay.
Um, they're really popular.
And
I
you're a
don't
horror
think
movie
they're.
fan.
I'm a horror movie fan. Um,
You're
I'm not a
also a
big
horror
fan.
movie snob.
I am not a snob. Come
Yeah.
on, I'm not a snob. I just don't like Scream.
Can I say elitist? How about that?
I'm opinionated, but I don't think that I try not to like look down on other people's likes and things like that. Like I don't like say like,
Sure,
oh, you
sure.
like this, so I don't like you, or you think you're stupid or something. But I definitely like it. It's easy for me to be dismissive of things, and I try to be open,
Mm-hmm.
but it's really easy for me to find things it doesn't work for me. Um, like
But
I'm
you
not a big
have.
fan of John Carpenter, and he's like one of the most important figures in the world of horror,
Mhm.
and I don't think his movies are very good.
But you do have movie makers that you are just genuinely enthralled with, like Kubrick and
Sure, yeah.
um, Brain Stopped. I had
Paul
another
Thomas
one.
Anderson.
Yeah, there's certain ones
Hmm.
that you just really enjoy. Just like there's certain authors that you really enjoy. You have certain filmmakers that you can really depend on usually to satisfy what you're looking for.
Yeah, for sure. I think most people that are into pop culture have their favorites, and they're people that they're ride or dies kind of in the pop culture.
Awesome.
Um, it's getting harder to have that these days, and that's um, just because of the accessibility of people and the accessibility of celebrities. You know, I'm always being challenged on my favorites by people's shitty behavior that I don't want to know about. You know, I don't want to know their every
Sure.
thought. So
It
it's kind
is
of
hard when our interconnectedness now
mhm.
lets us know things about our heroes that we don't want to know.
Yeah, exactly. Like I love Stephen King, and I think he's a smart, interesting, funny guy. Um, I don't want to necessarily engage with him on politics, not because I disagree with him. I usually agree with him most of the time, but because it's like he's an old man, you know, and his opinions are very like simple, and it's hard to I don't know. I just
But it
that's a good
would be
example.
because
It's challenging me in
you have
my
very
love of Stephen King.
complicated and nuanced and complex opinions
Hmm.
politically. So I could see where
Yeah.
that would
Well, that
not
comes
lay out.
into not living in the states too, and yeah, just I don't need to hear all these people's thoughts all the time, and
Sure.
it's hard to not get inundated with that. So that's where I'm struggling with my fandoms.
There was a time when I was growing up where I not that I was still that I was really alive during the golden age of Hollywood or anything like that, but when I was younger, a teenager even, you didn't know about things about musicians or things about actors or filmmakers. You got photoplay or you got People Magazine or you got a very quick sort of vignette of who they are in an occasional Tonight Show interview or something like that. You just didn't know
Sure.
all the things that we're able to know now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that definitely came about with like the early 2000s and kind of the blogs, the paparazzi blogs, and that kind of stuff,
Mhm.
and then going into um, social media kind of made it all explode to where everybody just knows everything about everyone.
Sure.
And that's definitely different now than it was even when I was a kid.
So, when you were growing up and as you became a young adult, you had a lot of things that you wanted to do.
Hmm.
And some of them were really big, and you worked hard towards some of those. What now, at this stage of your life, is on your bucket list?
Um, I mean, I think that I'd like to go to. This is really silly. I want to go to Disneyland in Paris, and that sounds like a goofy thing to put on a bucket list. But like, I feel like if I could do that, I'm struggling with Disney in the States right now, and sort of my ability to go do that with how things are. But I think that the idea of going to Disneyland Paris seems really almost out of reach for me. And I think that if I could make that happen, I would be really excited and proud of myself.
Well, you do have a
Just to,
25th anniversary coming up in December.
that's in like 2 or 3 months. I don't know if I could pull out a Disneyland Paris trip in that.
Anyone out there has free tickets to Disneyland Paris that they would like to donate?
And also hotel accommodations and
Flight
flights.
and, but a per diem for food would be good too.
Yeah, mini
All of
baguettes.
that. Just send that on.
Yeah.
I can hook you right up, folks. I'll get you right to him. So Disneyland Paris, good bucket list.
It's a little simple, but it's what I got.
I like it.
I have so much of what I like. I have so much of what I need in my life is there. It's taken care of, and there's not a whole lot left that I'm really like pining for.
Well, I mean, there was a time when what was on your bucket list was to be able to pay the electric bill and that sort of thing. I think a lot of people are in that situation where it's hard to think ahead to something you might want to do because they're so immersed in survival issues.
Mm-hmm. And it's stress in general. Like it's really hard to think about, anything but what's going on immediately around you.
Sure. I'm glad that you're at a place in your life where you can just stop and be grateful and acknowledge the things you have and the things that are around you. Instead of having that, there's a pervasive feeling of need and want that hangs around us when we're in distress and when we're not having our basic needs met. That's really hard to experience and live in.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's and anybody that's been in poverty will tell you, I think, that it sucks. And it's a really oppressive place to be. It feels very smothering.
It's really
not that I'm okay. I want to clarify. I'm not in poverty. I've been in times where I've really needed to needed help. But like I know that poverty is different from my experience. As far as I've had a place to live, I'm grateful for that. I've always had a place to live. I've always had food on my table. I've always had a partner that supported me. So it's hard for me to say that I was in poverty, even though I know that I was having some struggles.
Well, think about this. I'm gonna remind you of an experience that we shared together. We were living on North Haven in Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working a couple of jobs.
That was poverty.
Huh?
That was poverty.
Right. I was working a couple of jobs to not get by. You were already, watching the little kids and that sort of thing. And do you remember the time that we happened to be digging under the sink for something and we found 2 or 3 sort of almost withered up potatoes and got really excited?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, we had 2 potatoes. And of course, we had all the kids at home then. And so we were trying to figure out, you and I'd just come home from work. We were trying to figure out what are we going to do for dinner. And you said, let me just look under here. And we found, I think, 3 little potatoes that were kind of starting to go over. And we got so excited because we're like, oh my God, we can have mashed potatoes tonight.
To be fair, I always get excited for mashed potatoes.
That's absolutely fair.
Mashed potatoes is worth getting excited for.
Any day of the week, man. Any day of the week.
Yeah.
What's interesting about you kids is that I always made real mashed potatoes out of real potatoes. And there was a time, I think it was after you'd already left home, actually, but I didn't have any. And I always kept instant mashed potatoes on hand because if I over milked the potatoes, you can put a tiny bit of instant potatoes in there. They'll marry up just fine. You won't even know they're there, but it'll absorb that extra liquid. And so I had it on standby, and I would never use more than a tablespoon or so at a time. So I just didn't have any potatoes. And I wanted to do potatoes, so I just did instant potatoes. And I thought I was going to get this kickback from you kids. And again, I don't think you were in that conversation, but
Okay.
they got. I thought it was going to be, oh God, what is this crap? Why are you doing this? I thought they were really going to get upset. And the kids went, oh my God, it's school potato. You made school potato.
Oh my God, that wasn't me for sure.
Potatoes to them were kind of like this whole other food.
Sure, yeah, like microwave dinner potatoes.
Right. Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that I wouldn't have had that reaction. I don't
No,
think.
you
I
would
think I would
not
have had the
have
first
that
one
reaction.
of like, what is this bullshit?
I did convince you,
Throw it
though,
against the
that
wall.
I did convince you that taking eggs and flour and milk and making noodles out of them was a delicacy.
Yeah,
The
that's
sloppy noodles.
sloppy noodles. Yeah, that's nice and a little bit of white trashness, I think. Just make up some fucking Play-Doh and put it in some boil it.
Delicious Play-Doh.
Delicious Play-Doh. It is good. I was going to tell you something. Can I tell you a story real quick?
Yeah.
It's really short. One time in the very beginning of our marriage, I was making dinner, and I was not nearly as proficient of a cook as I am now. And I did the same thing. I put too much milk in the potatoes. They were kind of runny. So I did something to make them not runny. And I served them to Sandra, and she started eating them. And she's like, oh my God, what is wrong with these potatoes? And I said, what? And I said that she said, did you put something in them? And I'm like, yeah. And then she's like, what did you put in them? I said, flour. And she said, I hadn't tried them. I was scared to try them. And I just gave them to Sandra. And she was not happy about it. She said
like
that
you
was
do,
not
you know?
yeah, here you go. Some experiment, you know. What do you think? I thought I was going to get away with it, and I did not.
So I think I've told you this story before to make you feel better.
Okay.
When I was growing up, my parents had this club aluminum indestructible cookware.
Okay.
And so I learned to make mashed potatoes in a very specific way from my mom. And so when I married your dad, we had been married for maybe a month or two. And I was making mashed potatoes. And I looked down into the mashed potatoes and thought, I do not remember peppering those potatoes. But there's clearly pepper in these potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked, and there was a silver ring around my Silverstone cookware because I had taken the hand mixer and put it into the pot
Oh.
and mashed the potatoes like this, which I've always done at my house.
Yeah.
My parents had a potato masher, but my mom always used the mixer, the hand mixer, to mash the potatoes. So I had stripped the Silverstone coating all around
just
the
metal
edges.
shards.
Huh?
It was just metal
shards. Silverstone shards in there.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat that.
And of course, those are the last of my potatoes. So I had to stand there and make that decision about, am I going to serve these and not say anything?
Oh, shit.
I didn't. Okay, but your dad reminds me of that frequently.
We have a legacy of ruining mashed potatoes.
I have a legacy of a lot of things regarding food that's not good. Like there was the time that I was out of milk to make Kraft macaroni and cheese. And your dad walked in as I was expressing breast milk into the pan.
Oh my God.
Because I was like, I got milk.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
He had a heart attack. He was not happy with that.
Yeah, no, I would be a little bit weirded out by that. Well, I mean, if it was you.
Like, you see nothing. Walk away.
Yeah, no. I'm just gonna do the Abe Simpson thing where you walk in, put your hat on, and take it off, and walk back out again.
That's right. So what is your favorite part of the day? And I ask this of you because you have some sleep issues where you have experience with almost every part of the day.
Yeah, I definitely have a wide spectrum of times that I'm awake.
So what's your favorite part of the day?
I have two answers for this, if that's okay.
Yeah.
The first is that I like it when it's early afternoon, like even like 1:00, and I'm driving and it's sun's out. I really like that feeling of driving with my windows open and the sun's out, and I got music going. that's one of my favorite experiences. It's just like a general time of day sort of thing. Like it doesn't really work at nighttime, really. It's a different thing. But like if it's the middle of the day and it's not too busy out and I'm driving with the windows open, that's my favorite time of day. But then also, I really like it when I am wide awake at nighttime and I get up in the middle of the night and I go and I write.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll do that at like 3 a.m. and I'll just get up and go write. And I really like that time of day too. I feel like I can get a lot done with my head in that space.
The world is really quiet at that time.
The world is quiet, and even the internet is kind of like slowed down a little bit because all the people that I interact with are usually in my, within a few hours of my time zone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a peaceful time. And in this new house, it's very peaceful because it's so quiet here.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Very
all
good.
the time, it's really quiet. Yeah.
So this is a tough question.
Okay.
And it's a new one, everybody. This is the first time I've asked this on this show. So we're transitioning into a new question. If you could go back to any point in time in your life and say something to your past self, what would you say?
I've thought about this a fair bit, just even before I heard the question. I think I have two answers for you. Again, I'm very indecisive, so I always have two answers for everything. The first is that I would go back and I would tell myself at about the age of 13 or 12 that, and this is a difficult one for me. I would tell myself that nobody owes you anything. You're not owed things because you have gone through bad stuff. You're not owed success because I set myself up in this way at around that age to where I felt like I'd been put in some difficult positions, and I felt like I was kind of owed a better go of it, and that the things that I wanted to happen should happen just because I have been through things that made me unhappy, and that applies to so many different parts of my life. That if I had known that at that age, I think I would have been able to be a healthier person and a more well-adjusted person. And I think that would have helped me just in general in my life. Just to not go into things feeling like because of my history and because of my my pain that I should get things. I should get success, and I should get people loving me, and I should get people taking care of me. And I didn't realize that you have to work for those things. You have to go out and make those things happen. You can't just sit there and expect, Steven Spielberg to call you and say, "Hey, I want you to make my movie." You have to actually learn and live and go out in the world and do things. And I needed to know that a lot earlier than I did. And I'm still working on that. And that would be my thing I would tell myself. The other thing I would tell myself is to focus more on one thing. I think it's an ADHD thing, but I put a lot of time and effort into things that just kind of became nothing. And I wish that I had been able to focus exclusively on like art and writing and not get into like making movies and all these different like big ambitious things that I wanted to do. I think that I would have had a better go of it if I had done that. So I would tell myself that.
Those are good prompts. And the codicil is that your past self would listen and take you seriously, because I could go back and tell my past self a lot of things and I would have blown me off. So
yeah, I think that my past self was the kind of guy who would be very disappointed with my current self. But I'm not disappointed with my current self now. But my past self really wanted better things. That's a shitty way to say that. Not better things, different things. More impressive things. More bigger things. I thought that I was going to be a really important person in the world of entertainment. And
Mhm.
right now, I just want to be me in the world of entertainment. I just want to be uh, just I just want to be able to say what I need to say, and if people respond to it, then great, and that's good enough for me.
I like that. That's good. That's good. Good answer.
Thank you.
So, looking at where you are right now and what you do and
Mhm.
how you present yourself in the world, what, if anything, would you like to promote here?
Hmm. Well, the thing that I'm most invested in is my writing, my stories. I've written 3 novels and a couple of novellas. Well, I've written more than that, but I've published 3 novels and a couple of novellas. There's 3 bloodletting books. There's Charlie, Jack, and Danny. Charlie is the first one is probably my favorite of the 3 books. Um, but it's the one that this kicks the whole series off. And you can read them in any order. They don't necessarily need to be read in a certain order because they each follow a different character in a different time. Um, but yeah, that's what I would like people to check out is my bloodletting stories. Those are all on Amazon under my name. If you just search for Joe Humphrey, you'll see them. And you can put the link in. Um, but yeah, they're what I pour about 80% of my creative outlet put into is into these stories because I've been working on them for a very long time. They were originally a screenplay in the 90s, and then it became a series of short stories, and then I consolidated the short stories and rewrote them into novels. And yeah, and I'm got 3 of them.
So you don't have to pick just one thing to promote. Like,
Okay, cool.
what is the list of things you want to promote?
Honestly, like I'm that's the thing. I mean, the other stuff like the art is like that's my day job. I don't think of it as being a particularly important passion of mine. Which is not to say that I don't work at it. I do, and I like it and I enjoy it. But it's not. I'm not passionate about it. It's just kind of my what I can do, so I do it. Um, and it makes me some money, and it's a good, you know, it's a good little bit of extra cash, just to have around. But honestly, like I've been working on some erotica stories. There was one that I've published called Bride, which is the reimagining of the Bride of Frankenstein from her perspective. And then there's the one I'm working on now is kind of a sort of lonely housewife kind of story that's called Gut Feeling, and that'll be coming out probably in the next couple months.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, one thing I want everybody to think about who's watching this, if you're watching this real time or as it comes out, this video is going to release just about a little less than 2 months before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe's art makes amazing gifts, and you get it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It's usually a pretty fast delivery. You can get the prints in all different sizes and even different textures because he can have them printed as a canvas
Mm-hmm.
or as just, a print. And like I said, many different sizes as well, and they come really fast and they are really reasonably priced. So be
Mm-hmm.
sure and check out the links below. And are you still at joehumphrey.com?
I will be. My site's currently broken,
Oh,
but I
okay.
need to fix it. I will fix it soon. I'll fix it before this airs.
Okay, so we will have current links down in the description for how you
Yep.
can reach Joe and how you can order his artwork and how you can find his books. And I really, really hope to have him back on the show many times. And what would be really fun is if we could get him and Delina on at the same time because they're both
Oh, yeah.
such interesting people and they get along really well. So
Delina is awesome.
Delina is awesome.
Yes.
So thank you, Joe. That was a wonderful, wonderful run through those questions. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Do you have anything you would like to add before we finish up?
I just hope that I did a good job because I was very nervous.
You did a really nice job, and I look forward to having you back. It's always fun. I've always hoped that others could be a fly on the wall when you and I sit and talk because we're having a good
Sure.
time. We're
Yeah.
laughing, and maybe it would be fun for other people too. And that's the whole premise of this interview series is that I love the conversations I have with other people, and it's fun to hear fun conversations. And
Yeah.
you folks can also join into the conversations by commenting. I'm not going to sit here and beg you to comment for our algorithm or whatever that might be, but we like to hear from you. And that's a way that we can continue that conversation. And I'm very judicious about the comments. I reply, I stay on top of them. And if there's any that are addressed specifically to Joe, I'll be sure and let him know so that he can pop in and comment on them as well. And
Sure.
so we're going to say goodbye. And thanks so much for checking in with us to listen to another interview. And we'll just keep them coming. And pretty soon, I've got another, as I mentioned this on a few other videos, got another 8 questions loaded up.
Oh boy.
So we'll be having some of our people come back and talk a little bit more. So thanks for being here, Joe.
Thank you. Have
Love
a good
you.
rest of the day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.